Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
Reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew.
Glory to you, Lord.
When Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea, in the days of King Herod, behold, Magi from the east arrived in Jerusalem, saying, "Where is the newborn King of the Jews? We saw his star at his rising and have come to do him homage." When King Herod heard this, he was greatly troubled, and all Jerusalem with him. Assembling all the chief priests and the scribes of the people, he inquired of them where the Christ was to be born. They said to him, "In Bethlehem of Judea, for thus it has been written through the prophet, and you, Bethlehem, land of Judah, are by no means least among the rulers of Judah, since from you shall come a ruler who is to shepherd my people Israel." And Herod called the Magi secretly and ascertained from them the time of the star's appearance. He sent them to Bethlehem and said, "Go and search diligently for the child. When you have found him, bring me word that I too may go and do him homage." After their audience with the king, they set out. And behold, the star that they had seen at its rising preceded them, until it came and stopped over the place where the child was. They were overjoyed at seeing the star, and on entering the house, they saw the child with Mary his mother. They prostrated themselves and did him homage. And they opened their treasures and offered him gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And having been warned in a dream not to return to Herod, they departed for their country by another way. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Hardly seems possible that we're already here at the Feast of the Epiphany. But we are, and today's Gospel directs our attention to those exotic figures that can be found around the fringes of just about every major scene out there. The Magi, the three wise men, or the three kings, whichever is your favorite term used to describe them. Typically, they're portrayed, along with their camels, as being decked out in fine, bright, colorful garments adorned with gold and jewels. A detail that makes them completely stand out in the otherwise simplicity and poverty of this humble scene. In reality, though, not much is actually known about these people that we call the Magi, other than that they were foreigners who had traveled a great distance in search of this newborn king. Whether they were scholars, scientists, physicians, businessmen, or some sort of royalty is anybody's guess. Tradition, however, has given us names for them: Melchior, Balthazar, and Caspar. But no one can really be certain that these travelers were even men. In fact, there are those who would insist that they couldn't possibly have been men. We stopped to ask for directions. What we can ascertain about them from the story is that they were probably wealthy, powerful people, as evidenced by the extravagant gifts that they brought: the gold, frankincense, and myrrh. There's certainly a great deal for us to gain by dwelling prayerfully on the imagery set forth in this gospel. The Magi, guided by a star, diligently traveled long and far to find the child. And when they did finally find him, their humble posture, their homage before the newborn king, and their generous outpouring of gifts in response to this revelation of God's love serve as important models for us to contemplate and to imitate. Also worth pondering was the journey to Bethlehem itself and what followed after their encounter with the infant. I think we can put aside any romantic notions about the trip. It was the dead of winter, and weather conditions for the journey were no doubt severe. Travel assistance was unreliable, and accommodations, putting it mildly, were rough and probably high-priced. Imagine having to listen to the constant cursing and grumbling of the camel drivers, and having to deal with those that may have run away, the wild animals, and the countless dirty little villages through which they had to pass. One has to wonder if they at times may have regretted their decision to make this journey, but make it they did. They accepted and fulfilled their mission, regardless of the hardships and the costs that it involved. Like the Magi, every Christian, every one of us, is on a mission to find Jesus. Why? Because of the new life that we are offered by God, a life that is possible for us because of the Word made flesh. It's by no means an easy mission, but again, like the Magi, it's one that we must accept and fulfill. Epiphany maintains the theme of God's gift, while also pointing us towards that mission. The scene in Bethlehem continues to remind us that the Incarnation reveals the extent of God's love for us. God holds nothing back, not even his only Son, in reaching out to us in order that we may enter into an intimate relationship with him. We would do well to contemplate that nativity scene, not only during the Christmas season, but throughout the entire year. That, however, will require discipline and commitment as we return to our daily routines at the fast-approaching close of the holiday season. Ahead lies the drudgery of winter, demands on our time and energy by family and work, and the various problems around us that make what we celebrate at Christmas quickly fade into our memories. The Magi show us determination needed to contemplate God's great gift, manifested in the birth of Jesus, and the determination needed to stay focused on that gift. Today we celebrate Epiphany, a word that means manifestation, and is associated with the light shining in the darkness, the light that Jesus brought into the world. That light is a fire, igniting and empowering us to continue to bring God's light into the world. This is the light of the justice that flowers, the justice that raises up the lowly and the poor. This is the light that reveals the mystery of God's desire and his plan to bring all peoples into one family. To be light for others means to forego the ways of darkness and to say no to the various idols that surround us and entice us every day. It means being courageous in the face of the Herods of our time, forces of violence, hatred, and darkness that resist the light of Christ. So let us continue now on our own journeys. Let us adore the newborn Christ child throughout the year. Let us receive the fire of God's love and do everything that we can, everything that we possibly can, to make every day an epiphany